What's good? What's good? What's good? And thank you for tuning into the What's Good Family Podcast live stream. Yes, after much trial and error, after much heartache and pain and cussing out the world, I finally got it to work. This is my first live stream. Well, it's really not my first live stream, but this is the first live stream on Facebook. So for the Facebook family. And I just realized I'm not live streaming to YouTube. Yo, all right, whatever. We're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going.
What you not doing now? What you?
Man, today on the show, I got my boy D Biss, D Best,
I go
the
first.
best.
She's first.
No. You're first because you are a returning guest.
She's okay. What's good?
I'm new,
Yeah,
remember?
good. What's good?
Anyway,
Good. All right, that's great.
And first time on the show, first time on the podcast, we have my girl Brittany. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the
yo,
podcast. Welcome to the family. And yeah, today we're going to talk about child support. Child support. Yes. Yes. Today we're talking about child support. Yes. Yo, that was kind of cool. This is my first time actually integrating that stuff. So, like, I'm telling you, I'm doing a good job at this. Man, yes, all right.
Whenever you want to be recognized, you click this button. You see that hand? See that hand right there on my screen?
I
You ready?
don't.
No,
Okay.
okay.
You hit that
All
button.
right.
It's on the
Okay.
react part. Don't worry about it. We got you. We got you.
Mm. It's fine. It's fine.
All right.
Okay. It's cool.
So let me gear up what today's topic is really about, the clip in question. So, well, first things first, before I gear up the clip in question, Brittany, tell us about yourself, man. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Lord. Okay, well, obviously I'm Brittany. I am a mother of 3. Okay. I have my little babies of 2 girls, 1 boy. I'm a nurse. I love my family. I don't know everything you want me to share, but
Whatever you're
it
comfortable sharing.
okay. Yeah, so mom of 3, I'm a nurse, work in the hospital. I love my family. I love hanging out with my friends, meeting with people like him.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
No, but then we have I don't know. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I have a lot to say, but not so much. I don't know. Stop, Darius.
Okay. Well, that's what's up. Well, just brief for those that don't know, my name is DJ. I am the father of 5. I have 5 wonderful children. Been married for made 18 years this year to my wife. Yes. My marriage is a full grown adult.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Hold
awesome.
up. Hold
That's
up.
awesome.
Yes, my marriage is a full grown adult. And Dominic is my little brother, even though he doesn't claim me in public.
Oh, we public now? Okay. Is my turn? Is my turn?
Yes.
All right, well, I'm Dominique. Everybody call me Dominique. I am a father of 2. Um, divorce. My divorce ain't grown yet, but it's getting there. It's getting to that point. Uh, man, I'm used. This podcast is interesting. I love kind of having the conversation with. Hey, DJ. That's so dis.
Keep it going. I'm
Well,
gearing everything up.
I kind of love being able to kind of talk with my friend Brittany. I can't say best friend. My friend Brittany and DJ, my bro. This topic was kind of very interesting, so I felt that
Mhm.
it was nice to come out here and just have a good conversation with. So, what you looking like that, bro?
And I guess
He claimed me in public. He came to me in public. Yes. Okay, that's enough. How do I cut it short?
This is why they gonna ban us. I know.
Yeah. What's up, B?
What you got, Mom? What you got? What you got? What you raising your finger?
No, I was gonna say, I guess I should have mentioned I'm also divorced, but well, I'm a divorcee, but unfortunately my ex-husband passed last year, so
Oh, so
the
sad.
dynamic is a little different, but yeah.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is? Hey, why has you got?
All right, so now we gonna jump into this topic, this video, and we going to talk about it afterwards. So let's kick it in.
Who want to have the women who want to put the daddy on child support and then still want him to show up. Now, granted, every man should show up. And I hate when people say, oh, it made me mad. I hate when people say, well, you should fight for your kids. No, you should not. The mother should be smart enough to know that our emotions cannot raise a child alone. So your sons have no skills. Your daughters are promiscuous because you want to keep the daddy out the house. And it's a lot of times, especially when the courts get involved, are for money. And I did a video saying this. Most of the court order is the very common court order is the dad can see his kid every other weekend. I believe that turned out to 4 days a month. Mm-hmm. What you want that man to teach those children in 4 days a month is beyond me. And then he has to battle between I'm gonna be the fun parent or I'm gonna be on my kid's ass. And now the kids don't want to go to dad because he's trying to teach them values that the mama not teaching them because she either not there or she don't have no emotional intelligence. Because if you was a smart woman, you would want the father involved so you can have a well-rounded children. Now, I have seen some phenomenal mothers raise some great kids.
That's
but
right.
Let's talk about statistics. Yeah. And the children that are in jail are usually because they're with the mom.
Come on now.
And we're angry and we're frustrated and we're tired and we're working all day, but we want to raise the kid by ourselves so we can keep getting housing and child support, or so I can make him mad or be mad at him because he got another girl or the girl look better. The system is so broken, and it's not. People are like, oh, let me just be an independent woman. But I'm like, you guys don't understand. This is a systemic issue. Mm-hmm. I don't care what nobody say. They do not want Black men in the house. They don't want Black families because we are strong. If you look at everybody who is united and successful, them people stick together. We're not sticking together, and we're the strongest out of the group.
All right. All right. So I think I stopped sharing. Hold on.
I'm about to get canceled. Oh my god, Bridget. Oh my god, this is about to go crazy.
All right. So I mean, I don't even know where to start with this one. So let's just dive right into it. So we heard the video, we saw the video.
Mhm.
What was y'all's takeaway from that video? Like, let's dive into this. What is y'all's thought process on what the young lady said?
Okay, I guess I'll start. I agree. I'm gonna be honest. I agree with most of what she said for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Never in a million years I thought I would have been a divorcee. I did not foresee that for my future. Unfortunately, things kind of led down that road, and you have to accept things and keep it pushing. Now, I can only speak for my situation, but I also, in my situation, felt like that was my views for everybody else or my ideals for everybody else, and I'll get to it. Me and my husband, we, like I said, we were divorced and everything, but I felt like he's a great dad, with whatever and in any kind of way he could show up for the kids, he wanted to be there, right? Um, and that's just how I feel like uh with good dads. If you have a good dad in your kid's life and he wants to be there, he wants to co-parent, he wants to show up, he wants to do everything that a dad is supposed to do and be there for his kids, even though you guys aren't together, honestly, don't feel the need or see the reason for putting a man like that on child support. If he's asking what you need and he's giving you money, things that you're not asking for because he genuinely loves his kids and he wants to be there for his kids. He still wants to provide for his kids outside of y'all's relationship. I don't see a reason for putting a man like that on child support because he's already there. he might not be in the home anymore because of the situation, but he's there. I do feel like child support is a need once the other parent steps back and mom might need financial help with taking care of the kids and just financial support in general because the economy, is economy. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I mean?
definitely, definitely, definitely.
Right. So realistically, one household income really isn't enough to unless you're making, a
Buku
lot of
dough.
money. Right, right. So one income alone is kind of stressful for one person. So if that person alone is doing everything by herself or himself, because some men have custody of their kids, and the other parent can step up and help without court systems being involved and money, that is ideal. I feel like that's what we should be pushing for. But if somebody else decides, oh, I'm out and I don't want to help, but you help make this kid,
Mhm.
you should be financially responsible too. And I feel like that's when, maybe the child support and the court system should come into play. That's how I feel. I have more I can say, but y'all know I can talk a lot. I'm gonna let
Uh,
you say something.
Let me ask you this then. Do you feel
Whoa, whoa,
that
whoa, whoa, whoa! Before you question her, what's your thought process?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
wanna
What's your
we wanna
thoughts?
we wanna hear your thoughts on this.
well, as a man that's on child support, I'm with you on Brittany. I believe if a man is don't want nothing to do with the child, like literally don't want any involvement with that child, then that's when the mom or should actually seek for child support and stuff like that. Most guys I don't talk to or been around, they'll be on child support maybe because the mom was feeling some type of way, or it's always like a reaction, or it just automatic like, okay, I'm just want to put you on child support. It's a rare case you find. I think I saw it on TikTok where all the bad baby daddies or guys, the fathers, they have the best baby mamas because they don't want nothing to do with the system. They like, I don't want nothing to do with child support. I don't want nothing. I just want him to be with his child. That's it.
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
most of the time, when the women who do have a father who is like active, who wants to be there, who trying to, just like the videos say, I get my kids every other weekend. I get them Thursday and then every other weekend. That's not a lot of time for me to be able to instill or be a father to my kids, because then they only with me for so long. You know what I'm saying? They only with me for so long. So when they see me, it's like vacation to them. They're like, oh, we get a chance to be at home and be at dad house and get to do whatever. And
Mhm.
that's how we treat it, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't have enough time during the week with them to where I can get that structure, because the system, how they got it, because they want to, whoever have the most parent, whoever wants, even if you try to get joint custody, most of the time the mom is gonna fight. They won't give it to the mom. It is it's very rare that you get that joint if it's through the court system. But if you go into the court system, they're gonna get more likely that the mom gonna get a little more say so to it.
Mhm.
So
Mm,
when you don't get that chance, what's up, B?
no, I said I disagree on that because I mean, as somebody who's been on both sides of the spectrum,
You know,
I've been on child support and I've also been and I'm also the receiver of child support. As somebody who's been on both sides of the spectrum, the court system favors, yeah, yes, the court system does favor the mom. But when
Mhm.
it comes down to initially starting child support, it's about the parent who gets there first. So I hate to say it like this, but if if you and your spouse are about to divorce
mhm.
and the kids are in your custody, let's say your spouse left the house and left the kids with you. If you don't right then and there, when the moment she steps out, go put them kids on child support, then you're leaving it up for her to do it. So it goes, at least in the state of Texas, it goes by whoever has custody of the children at the time the order is put in place. Now, which brings me to my next question. Do y'all feel that the child support system has been weaponized? And if so, how?
I go first. Yes, of course. Most men see child support as a punishment. And when I say that, it's like you getting money taken from your work schedule. I mean, from your stuff, you get from your paycheck, you getting money sent to the mom or sent to whatever for the child care of the kids. Even if you still get to see your kids, and you have a majority, have them a lot, you still have to pay that woman child support, and that's ideally if they have them most time. I understand that part, but weaponizing it, meaning there's like a check to them. They can live off of that. Well, I've been involved where the child support was asked to see how much you get, so then they can determine where they live at. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? It's like that's how they can weaponize that and try to use it as earned income. Oh, this is just money that I know. I got the kids, yes. Taking care of the kids is simple, but I also know I got this other 5, 6, $700, $800 a month coming that I can utilize. And now, of course, through the state of Texas, we don't. I mean, through period. Let me not say just state of Texas. You can't control what that person does with that money. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no real way that you can actually monitor it. However, because of that, that's how it can really be seen as recognized because you just don't know what our father can do is just say, hey, I did my part. I paid my portion to that's required through the state, and I hope well, not most of the time, but sometimes it's always the mom asking for more. They want us to
Mhm.
go above and beyond the child support limits. And that's when the friction starts. Well, then they like, well, nah, I'm only obligated to pay this. And then if we don't choose to go above and beyond, now we are seen as deadbeat dads or we seen as all these different things. When in reality, you put me on this support, I'm only gonna give what the state is telling me to give. I didn't ask for these people to be in my life. You brought them in there. So if I have to give $800, I'm gonna give $800. When my child is with me, then I'm gonna take care of my child myself. If my child needs school clothes, I mean needs, anything like sports related, whatever, okay, he's with me. Okay, I got him. He needs to eat,
Mhm.
I got him. But to give it to you to say, oh well, he need $100. He need an extra $100. All right,
Right.
it's for your child. They get that response. Now that's when the friction starts to happen. And that's how most of the time is kind of mostly weaponized is always trying to use it as extra earned income. That's what I have said.
What's your thoughts, Bree?
Um, I agree with that, and then I also agree with, you know, if I've seen this a lot. Again, that wasn't my case because I didn't put my ex-husband on child support.
Right.
But I've seen with a lot, homeboys, friends talk about how if they're behind on child support, or maybe if the woman wants to go up on the child support and they're not agreeing to it, the woman will, well, you ain't paid this and you ain't paid, you can't see little JJ, you can't see Mariah because it is what it is.
Mhm.
Because now it's stipulations on money, right? So it's like you can't see your kids because you haven't paid XYZ, right?
Mhm.
So now we're putting prices like on kids and access to kids due to money. And that's not how it's supposed to be. It's just not. And then in the past, I've felt like before I was in my situation, being on the other side of things, when guys would be like, man, I paid my child support and she still won't let me see him. She still won't let me pick him up. And that's weaponizing child support. It's weaponizing the system and it's keeping the men who actually want to be in their kids' lives, right? Like it actually is keeping them from being there. I don't agree with that. I really don't. When you see, and again, I'm talking about the people that I know that are actually like good dads, like really good dads. They want to be there for their kid. And unfortunately, they have been paired with somebody who, out of anger and spite and emotion, uses money to keep them from their kid. Um, it's unfair because I know these people personally, and it's like, oh, you're such you're a good person, you're a good dad. I hate that your relationship didn't work out, but you should definitely be able to see your kids and not on the stipulation of money, right?
Mhm.
And unfortunately, a lot of women, once relationships go a certain way, yeah, they get upset and they choose to put these men on child support as a way to like have control. And some men, even being on child support, some of the women still don't even let them be part of the kids' lives.
Yeah.
And that's a whole nother issue. And I don't know. It's a sad thing to see in our community, but it happens a lot. And it happens a lot, again, like Dominique said, to the good dads. I can tell you how many deadbeats or ones that really don't show up or that really don't care who are not on child support.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know how it's flip flop like that a lot, but it does happen a lot.
Mhm.
no, I think it goes back to the point you were saying. I think it goes back to it's it can be used as a form of control. I
Yeah.
I I believe you said that best because it becomes, well, I always call it the my dolly. You know, we're friends today, so you can play with my doll. You can see my doll. You know,
Mhm.
we can share the doll because
Mhm.
we're friends today. But you pissed me off. But you pissed me off tomorrow. You can't see my dolls anymore. You can't play with my dolls.
Mhm.
I often ask the question, and the question I often ask is, at what point in time did you realize said parent, be it male or female, was a no good, dirty parent? Was it before the kids got involved? Was
Mhm.
it during the making the kids, or after, once the shit hits the fan, y'all go y'all separate ways? Now that
Mhm.
person is now a low down, dirty, horrible parent. At what point in time did that person become that low down, dirty parent? If does that make sense?
Yeah, 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 most definitely. I can speak for me. Deontay was a great dad to the kids. He was the fun parent. I came as the authoritarian. I said, sit down. But he was very like wanting to talk to the kids, be with them, and very fatherly. And so again, once we separated and we were divorced, I knew what kind of parent he already was. I knew that when my kids are away from me and they're with their dad, they're good. Like I don't have to call him. I don't have to blow him up. I don't have to. I want to talk to Darius right now. Where are my kids? No, they were in good hands because I knew from being in the relationship what kind of parent he was, and I knew outside of the relationship my kids are going to be in good hands no matter what. And then he had goals, dreams, aspirations, right? He wanted to go to nursing school. He wanted to get his degree. And he already had a child before us, before we got married, and he was already on child support for her. And me and my thoughts, knowing what he wanted to do, and like I said, what kind of parent he already was, I was like, first of all, I don't want to do him like that. And then a total of 4 kids, child support, what are you gonna get to do? What degree, what schooling will you be able to pay for? And I'm thinking long term, right? So what would be best for my kids in the long run? If he decides to go to school, if he decides to get his degree and he gets a career and he's making money, he will be able to provide for them even more so without the restriction of money and child support coming out of his check and he's barely making it, right? So I'm thinking long term, what's going to be best for him and them? I'm not even talking about me cuz I look, Brittany can take care of me. Brittany already established that. But what would be best for my kids and their dad being in their life? How can I help him show up the best way that he can for them? That wasn't a I don't know, it wasn't a struggle, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't hard to think about because in the long run, again, if he got to go to school, if he got to finish those things, so now we're both two parents, 2 degrees, and the kids are being looked after and taken care of, and they're getting everything they're needing from both parents. I think people get upset with their in their emotion. They think now, like the present, how I feel right now, and I'm mad at him right now, and I don't like him right now. Like you said with the whole doll thing. Today we're good today, but you piss me off tomorrow. I'm taking my doll back. You have to think long term, and you have to think how are you affecting your kids in the long run. And how many men grow up? How many men grow up? My daddy wasn't in my life. I didn't have my daddy. And women too, like she said, with the girls, it does cause a sense of promiscuity because the girls are looking for that absence. I have my daddy. My daddy, he
Mhm.
wasn't in the house. And then we have to go back. Why was your dad not in the house? Why? Why didn't your dad show up? Was your dad trying to be there and mom was feeling some type of way and mom kept him back? Or was it a situation where dad really wasn't showing up? So it's a lot of factors, right? It's a lot of factors.
Dom?
Nah, I commend you, because I did know Deontay. I knew y'all when y'all were married, and so for you to even have the mindset that you thinking about the children in regards to him, not women. Not a lot of women does that, and so you were part of that percentage that I talk about that have, even though he wasn't even a bad father, but the fact that you as a woman think, hey, how can he do good and be better for,
Mhm.
for my kids? If I'm going to try to hurt him and try to do whatever, why am I trying to do that? And so I commend you for that because it's rare. I mean, but some women do have that. Some men do that, and so I commend you for that. I do. It's a tough it's tough to hear because I was myself, I was firm on I wanted my kids to grow up in a two-parent household. I did not want Ava and Brooklyn to grow up without their dad. And what makes it even worse is the fact that I talk to a lot of my friends and I tell them, I say, man, you have to be okay with knowing that, okay, I'm still in Brooklyn's in my kids, Brooklyn and Ava's life, but I can't protect them. Like a father, I'm all I ever did from the time he was born until the divorce, all I was able to was protect them. Now they out of my care. They are in a home that I have no control or I have no anything over. So I have to sit here and pray and hope that everything's be okay as a father. And not a lot of fathers think like that, but you have to think. I mean, of course, we kind of replay back reasons and so much different things, but the fact that we have to literally go day in and day out knowing that our kids are somewhere else. We're not worrying about who raising or whatever, because at the same time, we should all want to just raise our kids together, especially as black people. We should want to raise, I would want Ava and Brooklyn to have that same kind of love that's over there to have it over here too. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so it don't matter who watching. It's just the fact that I will never, I would never want the mother of my child to be doing bad because then that hurts the kids. That's all I ever thought about.
Mhm.
So even
Right, right.
if I was going through what I was going through, I wasn't trying to hurt I was just like, hey, I'm here for Ava in Brooklyn. You need me, whatever. Whatever the support is, okay, good. If I'm able to do it, cool. Whatever the case may be, you just have to do it because if not, the kid's gonna suffer. And I think those the quiet ones that literally don't really get a chance to have a say so in this because it's either the mom and dad, they feuding that, they don't have no communication whatsoever. And now the kids are the ones that lacking the love because now they gotta seek it somewhere else. And then
Mhm.
that's when you get most of the time the kids start acting out, kids start, they start moving different because then like you said, who gonna be the fun parent?
Mhm.
I'm like to Brooklyn name, I'm the fun parent. I don't tell them to go and do, and then one time they do come here, I ask them, do they got homework? They look, I check their bag, I do all that stuff, but that's the only little thing I can do. I can't
Mhm.
take them to school every day. I can't put them on, but be there for the first. I can't do a lot of things that I was able to do when I were in the home, when I were had them here, but now them being away, it's like that it hurts
Mhm.
as a father to not be able to be involved like that with your kids. And when that child support and stuff, all that kicks in and they limit, the government limiting you, when people limit you, okay, you can only see your kids at this certain time, or you can only see your kids this many times. When sometimes you will really think that both parents should be able to just say, hey, let's come up with an effective schedule for the kids that works for both of us. Cause you never know when you're gonna need one of the other. You just never know. And then if you have most of the tensions the guys have is, well, you gotta go to child support, so I ain't gonna, I ain't gonna just bend my knee for you. That's
Yeah.
when problems start. You know,
Mhm.
they type of way because now you put these people in your life and you put them people in his life and he can't do anything. He got to make sure that that's taken care of while also taking care of his life. He got so much to handle, and you only thinking about the money. Did you pay your child support? Oh, nah, okay, you didn't pay your child support. I don't want to talk to you. It's like what y'all say.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I ain't gonna be nice to you no more. If you be mean to me, then I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Think I think it gets to a point where both parties have to come at the situation with a realistic standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
The court order is that it's a standard court order made for everybody with no particular situation involved. The idea that the father has to raise his child every second and fourth weekend of the month
Mm,
is preposterous. It's a preposterous idea, but a lot of people, again, it goes back to that controlling aspect of things. You know, I'm in control of this. You didn't. I feel a lot of people, and I'm not again. I'm not limiting it to just females. Because I know some males who have done this shit too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a lot of people get to that point where it's like, oh, well, you didn't want to be with me, so I got the kids. These are my kids. I'm in charge of them. You
Yeah.
can't do nothing without me. You can't do nothing without my say so. And again, it's a form of controlling a situation,
Mm-hmm.
and you're using the kids as pawns to get the desired outcome over another person that
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for, instead of approaching the situation and saying, hey, we don't have to abide by this court order because it's just a standard order. We could come up with an effective situation, or an effective schedule that's going to work beneficial for both of us.
Right.
I'm a firm believer. I believe both parties should live in the same school district. I don't give a damn. Y'all settle on, find a school district y'all both agree with, settle on it. Y'all both live in the same school district. That way both parents can take the kids to school.
I
I
never
feel
never thought of that, but that's yeah,
I
yeah.
feel that would be something that would be helpful, not just for the kids, but for effective co-parenting, because now it's not just on one parent to go to the school. Both
Mm-hmm.
parents could be at the school.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel that regardless of if y'all get along, regardless of how the let me phrase it, regardless of how the relationship ended, I believe all parties should have to go to some type of counseling, so therefore they can effectively make this transition and take self out the equation and
Mm-hmm.
put kids in front of the equation, because a lot of decisions are made off of an emotional stance. Today my emotions are high. Today I'm mad. Today I'm upset. Today this person pissed me off. Even though this person cheated on me and proved that they are a sorry excuse of a spouse, in my mind, I'm equating that to them being a sorry excuse of a dad too, or a mom too, because they hurt me. They
Right.
haven't done nothing to the kids. I feel a lot of people make that they conflate the two.
Mm-hmm.
They want to relate how you were as a partner to how you are as a parent, when the two can be totally opposite. I can be a crappy partner, a crappy spouse, and be a great dad or a great mom.
That's
I
that's true.
feel that's something that
that's
can
yeah.
that
I can admit, lie. I was a terrible husband, but I was a great father. I was there. I showed up, but I mean, yeah.
and because emotions is running high, and because people are upset, and
Mhm.
the only thing that a lot of people can see is, well, you hurt me, so I'm gonna hurt you, and the only way I know to hurt you is to
Use
play
the
with these
kids.
kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
But
I feel we can't put too much stock in this court order shit, because the court order is just that, it's a standard order. I mean, Gary, let me be very frank. The state of Texas gets a cut off of the child support you pay. Your
mm-hmm.
child is not your. They don't give a damn about your child. They give a damn about the money that they're raking
That money.
in. It's a lucrative business. Hey, oh, you're mad at your baby daddy? You're mad at your baby mom?
Mm-hmm.
Get on child support. Oh, you want to get food stamps? Oh,
Yeah.
you got to put this other person on child support.
Yeah.
You want Medicaid?
Right.
Well, let me. Oh, I'm sorry. In order for you to get Medicaid, you got to put. That's the conversation people are not having. It's
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a lot of dudes they want a lot of people, dudes, females, they get upset. "Oh, well, why'd you put me on child support?" Well, shit. No offense, you're paying $600 a month, but $600 only goes so far whenever I'm trying to take care of this child, put groceries on the table, put
Mhm.
shoes on their feet, socks. I mean, inflation is inflationing. You know what I'm saying? Well, a pack of hot dogs, getting hot dogs don't cost $10 anymore, bro. It don't, bro. Bro,
Yeah. No, you're
bro
right though.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you,
But you know,
inflationing is inflationing.
and then I was gonna say one thing too. I thought that it was pretty funny that the minute I was, going through the divorce situation and all that, that the child support is an automatic thing.
It's an automatic thing.
Like,
It's
it's
automatic.
automatic. Like, I did before I went through my situation, I didn't know that. So, I'm going through, the paperwork and
Mhm.
I'm finding out, I'm going through a thing and child support. I'm like, "Whoa, I didn't ask for child support." You don't have to. It's an automatic thing that comes automatically when you're going through that process. And in order to retract that was a process. And so I
Mhm.
remember my lawyer at the time, I'm telling her, I'm sitting down with her, I'm like, "I don't wanna put him on child support." And she was like, "Well, it comes automatically with you, don't have to worry about." I was like, "No, no, no. You're not understanding. I don't want him on child support. Like, how do we undo this?" So I had to go to a notary. It was like a whole different little
Yeah.
paper where it says, "Once you sign this, you can't go back on it." So then I had to get him involved, and I was like, "Listen, I don't want you on child support. We have to sign. We have to, get a notary to stamp, do this. And once it happens, I can't put you on child support after this." And so he's like, "Well, of course." He's like, "Okay." But everybody else and my lawyer was like on me. They're like, "Once you do this, this is it. This is it.
Mhm.
Is this what you want?" And I'm looking at everybody like, yes,
But
like,
but
almost trying to talk me out of it. No, I don't wanna do it. So,
mm,
I got it done. I thought at that moment, I'm like, "Wow, like, this is automatic, and it's a hassle to not put somebody on child support, to retract it." So, yeah, it's almost like, alright, separation, boom, somebody's on child support, it's an automatic thing when I feel like ideally, when you have an idealistic mind and you want the ideal thing or ideal situation for your kids, it should be a conversation. "Hey, everybody, let's sit down. Let's talk about this. Okay. Rent is this, mortgage is this, groceries is this. Let's sit down and talk about between two mature parents. How can I how can I help? What money is going to be needed to help or give you this or whatever the agreement can be so that one parent is not so burdened. Now, naturally, it some one of the parents is gonna have a little bit more than the other if, we're, like you said, going by court order and the kids are mainly with this person. But that's another thing, like you were saying, that's also something that should be worked out. Why can't one why can't kids stay a week at a time with one parent, right? And then the next week they're with,
man, I
because why does one parent only see the kid for the just the weekend? And then again, me and Deontay went through that too. Well, we didn't do the court order thing. We had a court order. We didn't we that was just paper. It was literally just paper. Whenever Deontay wanted to see the kids and I wasn't working, "Hey, I'm gonna meet you here. We're gonna do this. We'll hang out." Whatever the case may be. Dropping the kids off. And we just worked through it. We just talked and we just was mature about things. It didn't have to be crazy and "I hate you." None of that. And even though we both knew that there would be no reconciliation, right?
Mhm.
We knew we weren't getting back together. It was still fine because our focus was on the kids. Our focus was on the health of what we wanted the kids to be in, what we wanted them to see. And we wanted them to see that no matter what, there is still love. There's still love in the picture, and nobody has to be romantically involved. But hey, I love dad. I love mom. We want them to be able to mirror that when they get older.
Oh, yeah,
And hopefully they don't have to go through the same things that we went through that brought us to that moment, that place in our life anyway. I don't know. But not everybody, again, not everybody thinks logically. Everybody gets upset, and it's a rise of emotions. It's a rise of emotions, and she did me, he did me this way, and they weaponize their emotions, and they use money to barter the kids and use the kids as pawns, and knowing that somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt in the end, and then long term wise, is the kids are left with all of these issues and mommy issues, daddy issues, and mommy kept daddy from the house, or daddy didn't want to be there. And and I've also learned whoever the bitter parent is, well, your mama, your daddy ain't, and the kids grow up and they have these thoughts and these lies that were never true about a certain parent. And then in the end, kids get older, they'll see. They eventually see who the problem was,
Amen.
or what the truth was,
Mhm.
It is what it is. It's sad it's like that, but we're dealing with humans. We're dealing with people at the end of the day.
Yes, yes.
I think the worst thing for me is like now, like hearing A, like I'll be like, hey, all right, it's time to go to mommy house, whatever. And A would be like, no, you gotta leave. And I think that's what hurt me as a parent because and when this first happened, when the whole thing with Avery, it was like he he didn't understand why I'm leaving dad to go somewhere else. That's I think that's and I don't use my situation because I'm dealing with it, but I know everybody else have to. Where some parents, some kids literally don't see they don't get a chance to see their father, a mom or whatever, and they don't really know what's going on. All they know is mom is watching me or dad is watching me, and once you out of sight, out of mind, them kids, they just living life. But they got that missing void. And like we said in the beginning, that's when now we look for that abandonment issue. And when we look for somebody to replace what we miss. I was like, I didn't have my mom or my dad. I was living with my grandparents, my great grandma. Through the years, I got close with my mom and I got close with my dad, but I still had abandonment issues where I was like, where were y'all? Or my mom and dad, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the one thing I was trying to fight like crazy for Ava and Brooklyn. But even then, like you said, when one of the parents have a mindset on what they want, the kids don't matter to them. They think what they're doing is best for the kids. I'm doing this for the kids. I'm just gonna separate the two. In reality, they both need their parents. They really do need it, regardless how it shows up or regardless
Mhm.
feelings of each other. They need their parents because right now you don't want your daughter to grow up without a father. You don't want your son just being around nothing but women because you don't know. He won't know how to be a man. That woman won't know, that daughter won't know how to generally know what love look like.
Yeah.
If the mom is like single or she's just out or living like free and whatever, just not, you know what I'm saying? She would never know because she don't have no example to look at. So then now some guy can just come up, show a little bit of love, show a little bit of compassion. Now she feel, oh man, this is what I need. But in reality, that's not what you need. That's just something that you can feel to that missing void of what true love is that a dad can show and a mom can show. Because and of course, like I say, even if you are separated, like you said, Brittany, you can show that with how mom and dad, no matter what. I done seen was many adults now where they say, yeah, my mom and dad, they wasn't together, but he always was there for me. And my mom and son, I can call my dad or my mom and dad, we would meet up, we still celebrated, we still did this. She invited him to the game, do all this other stuff. And it's rare you find that kind of thing, especially like in this climate, because it's all about, like you say, it's all about the money. It's all about, okay, what it is that I'm getting from this situation. Okay, I have 2, 3, 4, 5 kids. I supposed to be getting all that, I can't do it on my own, but then when the dad try to step and get involved, he's doing too much. Or I don't know, it's not it's tough. I think I have a question though for both of y'all.
Mhm.
What is an effective co-parent? What that look like?
Effective co-parenting is coming to the agreement, in my opinion. Effective co-parenting is coming to the agreement, hey, we don't like each other. I don't like you, you don't like me, we can't stand each other. But for
Mhm.
these kids, for these children, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna come up with whatever works. So if they're in trouble at your house, they're in trouble at my house.
Mhm.
If they get rewarded, reward them, take care of them, and everything else. But one of the biggest things parents do against each other is, oh, you in trouble at your mom's house? Well, if you come over here, you wouldn't be in trouble for that. It's okay. I won't get mad at you. That again, different strokes for different folks. In every relationship. I mean, effective co-parent. You're still, even when you're married, you're co-parenting.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, as parents, we're setting the example of what's going to be normalized for these children. So the man is setting the example for his daughter of what she is to accept from a man when she gets into a relationship. And the woman is setting the example for her son to accept whenever he gets into a relationship. So you want to show good communication. If you don't have communication, you don't have nothing. I'm gonna be honest. Communication is the foundation of co-parenting.
Wait, wait. No, 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 no. I'm what I'm about to say is I have learned I have learned that you can communicate all day, but if there's no comprehension, if somebody is bent on not understanding,
Man,
I can talk if I can talk till I'm blue in the face, but if you are bent on not getting what I'm saying, or you truly don't have the mental capacity to understand where I'm coming from, it don't matter. It's like speaking Spanish to somebody who understands English. We both talking, but there is no kind of understanding or translation going on, and
but
it ain't landing anywhere.
I'll say this, and this is what I'm gonna say.
Go.
If you did not pick up on that key factor when y'all before y'all hit the sheets, then you can't complain after what after you done did what you done did.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And that's why when Dominique was talking previously, I was sitting here thinking and I was like, I feel like we need to clarify when we talk about, parenting and co-parenting. We need to talk about what kind of parents we talking about,
Yeah.
right? You get what I'm saying? So when I say from my standpoint, I'm talking about what's normal. A parent who's not dealing like with mental issues, addictions, and
Mm,
I mean just regular stuff, right? Regular smojo, because
Yeah.
there are situations where people are going through things that, yeah, that parent don't need to be with them kids.
yeah.
And Sally Mae don't need to be with dad over there,
Yeah,
mom.
it's funny you said that because I was gonna add that on to what he was saying, that we need
Mhm.
to make sure that we do clarify in some relationships, as much as we want the relationship to work,
Yeah,
sometimes the best thing we can do is to go our separate ways.
yeah,
Because at the
yeah.
end of the day, you want to set a holistic, healthy expectation for your child to normalize. If
Mhm.
you and if you and Sally Mae are going at each other's throats on a day-to-day basis, where you're yelling, cussing, kicking, and screaming on a day-to-day basis, and it doesn't have to be physical. A lot of people think, oh, well, I didn't hit him, it didn't turn it doesn't have to be physical. Just the whole idea of them having to live through a house that is in constant turmoil, they
Mhm.
will normalize that and think that is what love is. Love
Right.
is chaotic, love is dysfunctional.
Mm.
And love can be dysfunctional at times, but it is not in a constant state of dysfunction, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Right. 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 Yeah. So we're clarifying. We're talking about normal.
Normal.
No,
Yes.
what normal should be, right? Okay. Like two healthy people, we have, as far as we know, everybody's sane. Everybody knows right from wrong. Everybody regulates their emotions a little differently, but for the most part, we're normal. And if you can't, in a normal setting, be able to sit down and have conversations, hard conversations, and just talk, just figure it out. Just figure it out, right? I commend Dominique because again, he's a good dad. He's there for his kids, and I think about my situation where I know their dad, very good guy. but he started having health issues, right? So in reality, even though he would show up the best way that he could, I still, for the most part, was a true single parent, right? Like I'm really providing everything for the kids, money, shelter, all that stuff. Whenever he had, like I said, health wise, the capacity to show up, I'm dropping the kids to him. I'm taking the kids to him because I want, no matter what, for the kids to have their dad and keep him in a positive limelight no matter what he's going through. Because at the end of the day, unfortunately, I can use an example like he passed last year, but I love the fact that my kids have the comfort of and thoughts of, man, my dad passed, but I love him. I miss him. They have good thoughts towards their dad. I went in the house, yeah, your daddy, he ain't show up and he ain't give me money. When you come from a place of you're not operating out of ego and selfishness, you you see the true picture of what somebody is going through, right? You know if the other parent can do this or do that, if they have the emotions to be there for your kids, if they have the finances to be there for your kids. And I'm gonna be honest, their dad did not have the finances to really be there for them, but he had the emotions, he had the mental capacity, he had enough love to show them what it means to have a father in their life. So whatever capacity he could show up, I allowed him to do that. I wanted the kids to experience that, to be with their dad. But coming from a true single mom, like doing it all by myself. And when I say all by myself, shout out to my parents for the days that, I'm working or I want to go out and do something and they watch my kids and they provide shelter, food and all that stuff. But for the most part, like financially and all those things, it's on me. I don't have nobody else to fall back on. And when it comes to money and finances,
Mm.
I'm usually the one helping other people. I don't get that help. So if I was privileged enough to have a true co-parent who would love to give me money, who would love to take the kids for a week or a weekend and let me have my time to myself. God,
Yeah.
thank you, Jesus. That would be, oh, man, a load off. But since my divorce, and even before the divorce, when I eventually moved out of my parents' house and me and the kids been on our own ever since, it's been me and them. It's been me and them. They talk about baby mamas and the kids always there. They always here. Always here. Me and these kids are like we're like this. These are my little broke besties because we're always together. I hope women who have um good dads to their kids, man, that's we true single women, we want that. Do you hear me? Do you see my face in this camera? Do you think I want to be a strong, hardworking, independent, I got it all by myself woman all day? No. Do you think I would have chosen to have that kind of lifestyle? Absolutely not. No. I can't wait to be in my soft era. I can't wait. But right now that's not reality. I gotta push. I gotta work. I gotta work overtime. This economy, like we said, is economying.
Mm.
And I have to show up as mom and dad. And then that's the other part of, being divorced and things. Like once you start getting involved with people and you're interested in people, you gotta be careful then who you bring your kids around. Yeah, who you bring around your kids. Because
Mm.
you never know the intentions of people.
Mm.
They come with nice sweet nothings and come with hidden agendas, or at least for me, single mom, they see me, a lot of people see me as she doing it all by herself. She got it. She this, she don't need no help.
Mhm.
And I might not need the help, but don't you think I would want the help? I would want the help, but in the event that you can't help me, I still got it. I'ma still do it. But the men who want to be in their kids' lives and who's giving money without outside of child support, who's showing up, who's picking them up, who's making the time, man, that listen, you got it made, bro. Like, appreciate what you have. People don't know what they have until it's gone.
am
Like, they don't.
I am so happy Deontay got a chance to experience that where he didn't have to. I'm glad no other woman, because when Deontay was going through what he was going through, that woman probably would have kept him on child support, and it would have just kind of kept over and over. Because
Yeah,
and now a woman, they looking at it like, oh man, you 10,000 in the rears, 50,000 in the rears. So they thinking about all the money that they could potentially get. They might not even get it, but they just,
right.
you all in it, you know what I'm saying? And so I, for one, am thankful for the fact that God didn't bring a woman in his life where even while he was down, you didn't kick him. You didn't
Yeah, yeah.
beat him down because he was down or whatever. And then it was, you know what I'm saying? You saw the bigger, like you said, you saw the bigger picture.
Bigger
And
picture.
the
Yeah.
big picture was, okay, he's not able to do it. So, I'ma still do it, but I'm also, he's still gonna be that father. So it's like I think they was talking about it on basketball yesterday where he was saying, it was Shannon Sharp was saying on his podcast. And they was talking about how somebody can like make sacrifices. And they like,
Yeah.
well, one person can make a sacrifice for this, but Shannon kind of made a point where he like, you sacrificed only one thing, but you didn't pick up on nothing else. And
Mm-hmm.
so you sacrifice a lot when you like, okay, well now I gotta be mom and daddy. But
Mm-hmm.
and Deontay was able to pick up the slack somewhere else. He could have slack
Right.
emotional part or whatever the case may be. That's what I thought. That's what I thought co-parenting was. I thought where co-parenting is where both parties can have that effective communication and it's all about the kids. It's like, okay, you lacking this, okay, then whatever. That's what I thought. But
Mhm.
ideally that's not how it is because when you deal with a person emotionally or a person who's just not thinking realistically, like you say, it can go either way. You know what I'm saying? I done
But
seen co-parenting where no communication at all. But it ain't none. Like, it nothing about the kids. I mean, me and you talk about Brittany about that stuff, but it's like dealing with that kind of stuff, I can understand where like fathers just like they want to be involved, but if you don't have that other parent who's not even engaging in you about that said child, he kind of like he or she is just kind of stuck out of luck. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
you're right. A lot of women do want to be single moms. They want that. It's like a title for them. It's like they really want to. No matter what, you have a guy who literally is here trying to step up, trying to be whatever. He might not have it all. He might not be the perfect dad, the perfect whatever, but he's trying his hardest and still being able to be a father to your kids, a kid or your kids, and they still want that I'm a single mom thing. I do everything on my own. They rare like it's a badge of honor.
I have a point to that though.
Yeah.
Now I will say this. It does I feel like the way you were raised and your environment does affect that that dynamic, right? And I say that because I was raised in a two-parent household.
Mhm.
Yes. My
Right.
dad's always been there.
Mhm.
I didn't see my mom and my dad get in arguments, couple stuff, normal things, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like I've had the balance of my dad I've had the balance of my dad being the, "Hey, don't do that. What do you do? Go take that off. Wipe that off your face." You know what I mean? And then my mom being the feminine, "Oh yeah, this is how we handle this," and very creative and creating a very nurturing environment. My mom was definitely the nurturer. My dad was definitely the authoritarian. So I had that balance. So I feel like I ended up growing up with the emotional maturity to know if I'm doing a little too much or if I'm acting out of my emotion or I need to sit myself down and really think about what's going on or think about my decisions that I'm about to make and how this decision is going to affect this. And I feel like many of our people were not born in a two-parent household. So automatically off rip, it creates an imbalance of things when you get into relationships.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
if a woman sometimes is hell bent on being a single mom or keeping the daddy out of the kids' lives, she probably didn't have a daddy in her life, right? Her dad probably wasn't in the house, or his dad or his mom probably wasn't in the house, and it almost becomes a normal thing. So they kind of go out in the world in this mindset of, well, shoot, I was fine, I turned out fine, my daddy wasn't here for me, my mama wasn't here for me. They don't sometimes people don't even realize how they're affected by that till they go and sit and they go through therapy and they realize, "Oh, man, I'm kinda imbalanced." And I'm not tooting my own horn and I'm not being arrogant, but I can see the difference sometimes when I'm handling certain things or when it came to my marriage and certain things, how, Deontay could say something and I'm sitting back like, what would make you respond like that? What would make you act like that? So why you feel that way? Because I'm I'm feeling the emotion, but I'm thinking through the emotion too. I'm logically trying to process everything before I'm just like, "Oh, it's going to be like this and you're like this." It comes with emotional maturity, all of this stuff. And
mhm,
if somebody is only here emotionally and in their emotional maturity,
mhm.
but raising kids and having a family requires you to be here, we're gonna have some issues. We're,
Yeah.
we're gonna have that,
But I mean,
you know?
I think it goes back to knowing your spouse and knowing the people
Right.
you're laying down with. It's funny, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna let y'all, and then we're gonna close it out. I'm gonna give y'all the final word. It's funny how people get into a relationship, and throughout this whole relationship, this person has acted this particular way. They've acted immature, or they've acted irresponsible, or they've been this, they've been that. They've shown that they're not responsible. You still
Mm.
have kids with them. You have
Yeah.
2 or 3 kids with them, and they're still not responsible. But then you go your separate ways, and now you want this person to be responsible. You want this
Mm-mm.
person to take some type of accountability, but this
Yeah.
person wasn't taking accountability the whole time y'all were together. So
Right.
it's like, I tell anybody, know know what you're getting into before you get into it.
Right.
Not and I say it like that because a lot of times we get into these situations and we're wondering, well, damn, how did I get into this? Well, the person is always showing you who they are. They're not gonna,
Hmm.
you know, after a certain my motto is this: people lie, patterns don't.
Right.
If you can't pick up on your person on your partner's pattern, then I don't know what to tell you because
Yeah.
they're showing you who they are. When it comes down to this whole child support thing, again, I think child support is not a bad thing.
Right.
It's meant to be helpful, but I feel that over time it's been weaponized by not just our community. Heck, the Caucasian community does it too. The Hispanic community does it too. The first thing you do, I mean, when y'all have kids together and and the relationship don't work out, I'm putting you on child support. I'm putting you on child support. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, why? But like you said, it's so built into the fabric of society. You
Hmm.
get a divorce and you got to jump through who you got to go through Tom, Dick, and Harry just to just to get a paper to say, hey, I don't want child support. And
Yeah.
then now you're the outlier. You're not the golden standard. You're the outlier now because it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
really?
They
I
want
got I
they
got hassled for that.
get off
I
they
did.
on child support.
Yeah.
What? They want to knock Brittany head off. They like, "What you
But
mean?"
I'm sure they did. I'm pretty sure they were like, look here. You gonna take this money? We gonna put them on child
No,
support.
y'all laughing, but I swear, like, my lawyer was like, once you do this, you can't. I'm like, I know. I'm telling you, and people stay. And I'm not gonna lie, family members too. They were on me. Man, you better. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it.
Mm,
It's such a norm now. People think you're crazy when you say you don't want somebody on child support. You
Nah,
know.
nah.
But and then I will say this, mind you, I don't. I'm 34. Dominique, would you 32? I'm bringing it into a point. So
But
what I'm saying is, I know at least between me and you, I don't know about you, D. What about you? How
he's
old are you?
42.
Hmm?
He's 42.
42? Okay, you still young. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's a family show.
Listen, I'm creeping up on 42. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But what I was gonna
I'm
say
not
is,
42. That's the thing. I'm 35.
It's like
look, he don't look 40, but I wasn't about to play you. Okay. So
like
we're
30s is like
we're all young, and so if we think about it, we think about the span of our relationships. We were making these decisions when we were like early 20s, right?
early
I
20s.
had Brooklyn when I was 20 years old. Yes. I was married at 22, right? Deontay, my relationship with Deontay was my first relationship. That was my first everything. I didn't know nothing. All I knew was how to be a said wife, because I watched my mom, and I watched my mom and how she treated my dad, and I watched my dad and how he treated my mom. I knew what that dynamic looked like. So I knew how to operate in a relationship. But I was still young. Were there a ton of red flags about everything? Absolutely.
Yes.
But guess what? I was in love.
I was in
For the
love.
love, for the
The
love.
love. It was, I felt the love. The love. See,
But now
he was my
I think
R&B song. He was that,
right. We
he was
90s
that,
babies. 90s babies. All we wanted was love, man.
yeah.
I'm serious.
So, but to my point, we were young then, and we're having these discussions now because we're wiser, we're older, we see better, we have more clarity. We're in our
Mhm.
30s now. So we can look back and be like, that's kind of where we dropped the ball, or we should have did this. But that don't matter no more, right? Because everything is said and done. Moving forward, dealing with child support and co-parenting and all this stuff, this is where after all we've been through and all we have learned, we should as parents or people as me, getting into relationships, be able to have sit downs with people now and talk about things, be realistic about things. That's where we are now. We didn't think about that then, but now where we're at, we should all be able to sit down, have emotional, mature conversations, and be like, hey, I was who I was back then, but who I am now, who you are now. We've learned so much. Let's figure this out. Let's cut the BS and just figure stuff out for the sake of our kids. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having healthy co-parenting. People don't even have to dislike each other. You can actually like each other, love each other, never get back together, and still be okay for the sake of the kids. There's nothing wrong with that.
Fact.
That's it. That's all. That's all I got to say.
All right. Well, we're going to go on and end this with last words. Brittany, you are the guest. You are technically the guest. So ladies first.
Oh, okay. Last word. I do want to say thank you for having me come on. I really like discussions like this. It brings a lot of, like I said, clarity and different perspectives from different backgrounds, environments, and it's nice to hear people's experiences and just kind of grow from them. You can always learn from people. But I will say, hey, as we get older, y'all trust God, put God first. Know that everything that you've been through is it's a lesson. Whether you want or not, you never really lose. Things are lessons. When you go through things, you learn from them and you build from them, and you do your best to not make the same mistakes. And you try to be the example that you want to be for your kids. So it's life. It's meant to be lived. Experience life and just keep going. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right.
Little bro, what you got?
Nah, I'm with y'all. Know who you dealing with. When you bring a kid into this world, it's like everything stops and it's all about them. I got married in my 20s as well. Had kids after marriage and all the stuff that I really was doing grown people stuff at 21, 22, 23 years old
Mhm.
because I was in love with somebody. And so you got to know who you having kids with. And most of the time, all this child support stuff that we had a conversation about is about people who literally meet up with somebody and have a fling or have a little one night stand, and then next you know they pregnant, and what the first thing It ain't mine, or I don't want nothing to do with it. And that's how this statistic starts to happen, where now the dad is now on this, and you know what I'm saying? And so I would say just know who you're dealing with, because once that child comes, is no redos. You can't take the child back. You can't put the child back in the mom. You can't not make the DNA not be yours. That's your son and your daughter. And
Mhm.
once that come about, I think both parents should have to really be meshed for 18 plus years until it ain't just all the way okay until they're 18 and then they go about their business, because even then you still a parent after 18.
Mhm.
You still gonna be mom and dad after 18. Now I'm not saying you have to have a relationship with the mom after 18. Co-parenting, that's 18 years for a person that you have to be around and you have to communicate. When y'all was talking about that, I wrote that down. Communication and comprehension. That go hand in hand, because like you said, Brittany, you can talk to somebody, you can communicate with them, but if they not comprehending, you're not gonna get nowhere. And
Mhm.
so all I would say is, man, if you wanna be a fan, you wanna have a family with somebody that you can come in, you gotta know, you have to really know, like you say, keep God first, but you have to know these people, because it's no turning back, and once you
Yeah.
get to that system, it eats you alive if you're not strong enough for it. And so I just pray that nobody has to go through. I pray that life over people where they can at least be able to not have to deal with this. If you be with somebody, let you be that the person that you marry, let the divorce rates go down, let that child support stuff, that statistics start going down, where now fathers can be involved with their kids more, and moms can be understanding and want the father of their kids to be involved, rather than just separating us into this life, and then now it's not even just one or two people hurt, it's like a whole community of people hurt.
Mhm.
So I just hope that that can happen for everybody, including myself.
Well, all right, y'all. Y'all already know what to do. Y'all know what time it is. If you are new to this, hit that like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe button. If you are true to this, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this week's episode. Again, I want to thank my special panel for being here. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you, Dee. I appreciate y'all. And be sure to look out for more episodes coming from the What's Good Family podcast, dropping new episodes every Monday at 9 a.m.
All
Peace.
right.
Yeah,